Hello everyone, welcome to STEM with Chantel.
I'm Chantel, and this is Ty.
Hello everyone. Today we're looking at STEM fingerprints. Alright, so why are fingerprints important? So fingerprints are a way that we can identify someone. And that's because no two people have the same identical prints. So this can be used in a number of places, such as crime scenes, but it can also be used more commonly in the everyday world in place of a passcode. So for instance, you may have clocked in and out at work using a hand scanner, or even more commonly, your phone may have a scanner built in that you can use to scan your fingerprint in order to unlock the phone. So fingerprints are formed in the womb where pressure on the fingers form ridges in the skin, and these ridges are fully formed after 6 months in the womb. So fingerprints being used dates back to the mid-1800s and was first used in law enforcement by Sir William Herschel, who used fingerprints to reduce fraud. Soon after, in 1892, Sir Francis Galton published a way to classify fingerprints. His way of classifying fingerprints were based off of the types of fingerprints that there are, and fingerprints can be categorized into three main types: arch, loop, and whorl. They can also be further classified into 8 distinct patterns. So the first type of pattern that we will look at is the arch. So this is the rarest type of fingerprint, and only 5% of people have an arch fingerprint. It's unique because it lacks a central core or delta. There are 2 subcategories of arch. There is the plain arch, which extends from one side of the finger to the other in a continuous fashion. There's also the tinted arch, which has sharper edges compared to the plain arch, which forms a tent-like shape. Next up are loops. So these are the most common type of fingerprints, and 60 to 70% of the total population have loop fingerprints. So what defines a loop is the fact that it has a central core and a delta. And you can notice the central core on the center of each of these images, as well as a delta. There's a single delta as well. So the 3 subcategories are ulnar loop, radial loop, and central pocket loop. The ulnar loop is identified because the ridges turn backwards and they don't make a full turn. So you'll see the loops moving towards the small finger. The radial loop is similar, but the turns point towards the thumb instead of the small finger. A central pocket loop, in this pattern, it recurves to surround the central whorl. Finally, there is the whorl. Approximately 25 to 35% of people have a whorl fingerprint. It is recognized by its central core and the 2 deltas. So we can use specific patterns in a fingerprint to help identify it. So what we look for is certain points, and those can be used to determine if a fingerprint is a match. So for instance, there may be a termination, or a bifurcation, a lake, an independent ridge, a point or island, a spur, or a crossover. And of course there are more as well, but those are just some of the main ones. And you can see on this example, it points out, like right here's the delta, we have the core, and then specifically if we look at some of these specific ones, like for instance there's a ridge enclosure right here. So the fingerprinting process. So now everything is digital, so if you scan your fingerprint in your phone, a light-sensitive microchip creates a digital image which is then analyzed, and pattern matching software can be used to turn it into code. And you can see this process up top here. If you want to find prints, there are a number of ways that we can do this. Now there's 2 main types of prints. There's visible prints, which you can see, maybe there was some blood, and you can see the fingerprint in the blood. But there's also latent prints, which are invisible. A common way to find the latent prints is with fingerprint powder, and the powder is used to stick to the oils left on a hard surface. You can also use fluorescent powders, and those can be seen under UV light.
Thanks for watching. If you would like to see more STEM with Chantel videos, check out this playlist. If you want to know when JCPL puts out more content, click the subscribe button and the notification bell.